Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Carlos Taco Show. I'm your host, Carlos, along with Miss Patty. We got Mary, we got Catherine, and we got Bella on the show. So tonight's topic, we're going to talk about mental illness. And just want to say that nearly 1 in 5 people in the United States, adults, experience some form of mental illness. 1 in 24 uh, has a serious mental illness, and 1 in 12 has a diagnosable substance use disorder. And we're going to talk about it tonight. So go ahead, Miss Patty, and what do we got going on?
So we have some amazing people on our show tonight. As always, Mary, thank you. We have Miss Catherine Wade, advocate, survivor, social justice warrior. We have Miss Bella Quinto Collins, also an advocate, warrior, very studious, but having a big impact in our community and in honor of her brother. This is an open discussion. Feel free to chime in as I read through these topics. But just to go over like the first one, so we'll talk about what is mental health, a little bit of history of it, how it's stigmatized, how it's been destigmatized, mental health in the military, mental health in government, mental health in our communities. So with my veteran side, back in 2010, there was a shift in mental health awareness. And we have Thomas. We have another amazing guest. Looks like he's logging in. He'll have some insight and info to share with us as well.
Nice.
Um,
How you doing, Thomas?
hey,
I'm
Thomas.
good, thank you. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
Thank you.
such an important topic. Um,
Mhm.
so mental health, we're 2024 now, and I feel like the mental health crisis, and it's becoming a thing where communities, and there's actually funding coming down to support communities that need it, because it's okay to not be okay. We've all had our
Right.
mental health journeys. I'm not okay. I'm on a healing journey. I have all kinds of we have our ways to manage, and we can all share out, because there are people that make fun. There's folks that can use it as a way to make fun of or belittle, but we're here to empower our community and inform our community, as advocates, and to destigmatize mental health. Um, so yeah, any input? Does we want to do some introductions around, and say hello, maybe a little bit about yourself, starting with Mary?
It's me again. I'm just here. I'm a moral support. I'm a community member. I'm an advocate, and I love you guys.
Aw, love you too.
Mama Wade. Mama Wade, a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Catherine. My background is mental health. I actually worked for Contra Costa County Mental Health for 9.5 years. I started at the psych ward and I was promoted to mental health administration. So I oversaw the mental health programs and facilities. I also was a stakeholder writing the Mental Health Services Act with Senator Darrell Steinberg in Sacramento, and implemented the services here in this county. I am a survivor. My son became mentally ill after first contact with Antioch Police 10 years ago in April. He was refused mental health services here in this county and in this city, and I was too. And mental health is real. I mean, people can go through different things in their lives. I could be a millionaire and lose everything and snap. It could be something small, it could be something big, but mental illness is real. And I think today, I'm thankful today, and I'm grateful for the 988 system, the Angelo Quinto program, and just a few months ago, they aided someone at Walmart, and that person knew me, and they asked them to call me, and they called me, and they ended up getting the person to Kaiser up here at Deer Valley. So
Aw.
thank you for the support. We need support from not the police. You know, mental health is not, you're not a criminal when you have a mental illness. And I thank the program again, and I thank all of you too. Thank you.
Thank you, Mama Wade.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Miss Bella, would you like to share a bit?
Sure. Yeah, on the topic of mental health, mental illness, and wellness. Yeah, I'm not feeling very good today myself. But I
Oh,
still am grateful for any opportunity to come out and share any parts of my family's story. Yeah, in December of 2020, my brother Angelo Quinto was asphyxiated to death by Antioch police during a mental health crisis, and since then we've just my family have been pursuing a lot of legislative policy and just community change,
Mhm.
and that's been one really important way that we've been able to cope with the loss and injustice.
Mm.
So yeah, I think we'll probably talk a little bit more about that later, but it's
Absolutely.
very important to me.
Thank you for being here. And I saw Thomas jump off. Is he going to come back on
I
in a
hope
little
so.
bit? Okay, we'll introduce him towards the end because he is a Reiki healer, and he can maybe bless us with some positive energy before we go off.
Right.
So we've talked about, so there's different types of mental health situations. We all come from different backgrounds, different living environments, different cultures, and so there's different types of mental health. There's levels to it. It affects us differently. There can be traumatic experiences, relived experiences,
Right.
generational trauma, stressful
Reactive.
situations, all of those things. I have a few forms of trauma. I'm still healing, and part of my healing has also been with the community and being around you all beautiful people.
No.
Um, so my biggest thing I'm just going to share out would be the domestic violence situation. That was traumatic. It was new to me, and it affected me, and it still affected me. But it was a cycle of trauma and violence and confusion and toxicity. But looking at it now, like, I hope to um, inform victims and advocate and educate so that when folks know that you're feeling down or you're feeling like you're having a mental breakdown, um, getting to the root of it, and getting support and getting to resources. I've reached out. My favorite is Military One Source. We'll go down a list of different resources to share. Have you all used any? I know Catherine Wade recently, the 988 was big for your friend.
I love Seneca.
Okay.
Yeah, Seneca was a big one for me because I adopted a child with reactive attachment disorder.
Hmm.
And when he was younger, it was more of ADHD symptoms. But as he got bigger, it was more of targeting and pushing buttons and killing small animals. And I mean, there's lots of things that I was unequipped to handle. And Seneca, and I'm going to tell you the most horrible thing that I've ever done in my life. I punched my son in the head.
Okay.
And I ended up calling and self-reporting, and I said, "Look, I need help." I said, "I've never punched anybody before. I feel terrible about punching somebody, and now I need help." And they got me into a support group called Rad Moms, which is here in Antioch, which was other parents going through similar things as me. They got Joey, beep that out later, Carlos. They got my son a therapist that was not a student, which was key for us because we had only experienced people working towards their 1,200 hours, and that is not a good experience.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent out, this is the part that I love the best. They sent out a behavioral therapist to our house to teach me how to be with him differently, to teach my family how to interact with him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was night and day. And then on top of all of that, they gave me an emergency number for somebody to come out if I was at wit's end, that they would come out and give me reprieve and help him decompress.
That's beautiful.
So I'm all about Seneca. That's
Okay.
a good one.
All right. Hey, Thomas, welcome back. We missed you. We were just going around a little bit ago for some introductions. Can you tell us with a little bit about you, yourself, what you do in regards to mental health and healing?
Okay, well, myself personally, I've been through a whole lot of trauma with experiences with the police, being falsely accused, locked up plenty of times, driving while black, So, but I found healing through scripture, reading, believing in God, and it's in the scripture that God gives us all gifts, but a lot of us is empaths by nature, caring, like all of us on here, we all care for people. So that's like a form of healing. We trying to heal each other. But yeah, I just commit myself to try to take care of people, kids, raise them, help them. Because a lot of people out here lost it. I was one of them, but I found my way.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Gemma. So we've all shared a little bit of, there's a lot more of stressful situations, and how it affects us. It affects our everyday life. I will say, like, if there's something that we've gone through and we don't seek healing, it will affect us, our bodies, our the people around us, our children, our grandbabies. So it's really important for us to find our form of healing and help and uplifting each other. My stress, I didn't know this. This is TMI, too much info, but like my month, I was so stressed and my mental health was so like deteriorated. My body was no longer getting like my cycles, like my monthly women cycles. That's part of my health and it should be a normal thing, but I was so stressed out. And once I cut out that stress from my life, my body got back to a regular cycle. So it's crazy
Nice.
what the stress and the impact that it has on us physically.
Yeah.
And that can manifest in different ways in different people too.
Yeah.
Because not that this is the Mary show, but I'm just going to share. When I was, my husband was drinking, my son was out of control, and I had just transferred into a high pressure department at work. I got to the point where I was like a cat. It's like my bladder would release at random places, middle of the grocery store, anywhere. My foot would stop picking up off the ground. Like the gate, when you step, it just would stop picking up and I had to have a cane. And I ended up going and getting psych evals and tests on my bladder and all sorts of things to figure out what was going on. And they said, you're normal. You're just under a lot of stress. And your body, by protecting yourself and giving up some of those stresses, will heal itself. It was either that or get a pacemaker in my bladder. And I ended up quitting my job. And sure, I gained a little weight because I was at home, but I stopped peeing on myself. And everything has been an uphill battle since then. Not battle. It's uphill walk, a refreshing one, like the ones that we do at Contra Loma.
Yes, we should do more. We need to walk more.
Yes, walking is very helpful.
Mhm.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it'll affect us physically, and that, yeah, indeed. ¿Qué más? Okay, veterans suffering from mental health, resources, and then alternate services to policing. So I'm glad that our communities is taking mental health now, like really, because it's been a thing with veterans coming back from the war and experiencing it. Like back in 2010 was when I first started seeing military one source counseling and resources available. Um, but that should be for everybody. And because of advocates like Bella
How
and
easy are those services to find? Because
really
I know
easy.
that I met a lady out here that was looking for veteran services, and she had to
Mhm.
go all the way to Martinez.
Oh no,
Hmm.
no,
That's where
no.
it's at, Martinez. It's in Martinez. Yeah, the headquarters. But
There's
my
two.
brother, he got help. He got housing. He's getting everything. He's been a veteran since I guess the 70s. Yeah, the 70s. He went to the Air Force, and he got out. He was homeless, abusing drugs, alcohol, just couldn't tell us what he was going through because he went in at 17, and for
Mm,
years and years he was just displaced and messed up. And he got a good person that helped him. He was in Mississippi for years. He hadn't even had any veterans retirement. My son in his records, my brother in his records, when he was in the military, it said he had PTSD. The boots made his feet, they messed up his feet. He's deaf in one ear. So he lived with all of that stuff. Just we had to deal with him as a family member. But now he's hooked up with Mare Island Veteran Services. He has an apartment. He's going to church. He has his
that
Uh-oh.
was good energies. Good
That happens to all of
energies.
us.
Oh,
Yep.
that's beautiful.
Yep.
We'll be back.
Um,
But that's good. That I love that he's getting those services and that things turned around. Because
yeah.
I'm not sure that that's always the same story.
epic. Yeah,
Mm,
he's doing great. He almost died. Well, he did die. They brought him back to life. And I got in touch with Thomas, and he went up to the hospital in Vacaville, and he did prayer and Reiki. He did whatever he was doing over my brother, and my brother came back to life. They wouldn't even let us. They didn't even want us in there. And I said, "You got to heal my brother." I said, "My brother cannot die." I was going crazy.
mm.
Oh, I can
Yeah,
imagine. I've
Remember,
had two
and I
brothers die.
snuck him in that hospital.
oh,
Huh?
I remember you telling
Yeah,
me about your brother. I remember. How long ago was that? It had to have been
yeah.
over a year.
That was that was 2022.
Yeah.
November or December. Yep, he's walking around. He used to sing and stuff at different events. And he's kind of struggling right now because he's in a senior citizen apartment. A lot of people don't want to take the Section 8s, right? But
Mm,
he has a veterans housing voucher, and he had to move into a senior citizen apartment. He likes to sing. He likes to play his what you call it, trumpet thing and stuff like that. So that's his therapy. And I
mhm,
told him maybe he should try to find single dwelling home so he can do utilize his therapy and stuff. But you
mhm,
know um being getting the mental health services that people need based on their culture and their tradition,
mhm,
that's a big barrier.
mhm,
I go to Kaiser every other month on the phone. I don't even see my therapist, and then they give me all this medicine. But I do call 988 a lot. I call them a lot. The supervisor, I still know her name is Stephanie. She calls me. And it's another guy that calls and checks on me. But I've utilized that service a whole lot just to talk, cry, vent, get my confusion out of my head, because I'm
mhm,
fixated still on what happened to my son,
Oh
mhm,
yeah.
mhm,
and the fear of, are they going to try to do something to me?
Yeah.
You think about these people's lives have been destroyed because of what they did. And I keep thinking, one day they might snap, they might look for me, because I never stopped because I knew in my gut, I knew in my heart what I saw them do to my son was wrong. And then what I saw them do to other people. And then what they did to Angelo, when that part right there, that just,
mhm,
I immediately got contacted, his mom because, you know, I had experienced so much with them on these mental health calls and stuff for my son, and I knew that was not the appropriate way that you take care of people with mental illness.
No.
Even not with a mental illness that had a breakdown, you know?
Mhm.
So
No, you're absolutely right. We need to having a mental health breakdown situation. It needs to not be criminalized, and police officers should not be the ones going to stressful situations to de-escalate these things. They should be there for crime, maybe crime prevention, something else. But even themselves need to have mental health evaluations and make sure they're doing well, because if they're not doing well, they're going to bring it to the communities. And
You would think a high stress job like that therapist would be mandatory
if
because
it's so stressful.
yeah, because if you have somebody to kick it off of, bounce it off of, it makes the world a difference. Like
Yeah.
I've been going to therapy steady for 18 years.
Mhm.
And I have some really, really low lows, don't get me wrong, but I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't had somebody just bounce a different perspective,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know if they have therapists, but I know they have police chaplains.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and the chaplains are good too. I appreciate the chaplains with my dad's hospice because he's
Right.
always calling me. I mean, I've been in Denny's on the phone with him and just cried.
Mhm. Hey, there was a question in the chat from Nicole about
There we go.
yeah, about what do we have for children who suffer from mental illness, anxiety, depression? Are schools doing enough to address their issues? I'm gonna say hell no. I don't think
No,
that there's enough resources in our school districts. The fact that like the Bridge to Builders to the new generation, Shimon Wright, Johnny Hines, and their team, like them being at the schools, that's a blessing because they are in a way counselors and they provide a safe space, but we need more of that
Right.
um, in every school. And
well, we need more counselors in general too. Deer Valley has almost 2,000 students and they have 4 counselors.
Wow.
Mhm. Mm. Yeah, no, that's not
No,
realistic.
it's not okay.
Strategically, it's not feasible.
Mm-mm. I mean,
Um,
because you can't give enough attention to anybody, and their focus tends to be on college. So, like, if you're not making the grades, they're not calling you in.
mhm. I have a question for Bella. She's our youth of the group for the evening. Hey, Bella, what high school did you graduate from?
Berkeley High in Berkeley.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
nice.
Much different. Were there counselors on campus?
Um,
Courses that you could recall?
I think we had 3,500 students and maybe about 5 counselors,
Sheesh.
and it was mostly for college counseling. Um,
Mm,
but I know, especially with student government, and Berkeley is a very liberal place, as I'm sure many of you know.
Yeah.
And that meant that they were also really open about mental illness and mental health and mental wellness. And so, just going back to the student government thing, by the end of my high school years, they had instituted some mental health days where you could use that as a sick day, which
Oh, wow.
I don't remember very much about that, but I think I found it positive. And speaking to that question that Nicole had in the chat, and thank you also for your comment before, Nicole. But I think sometimes it's really easy to be disheartened by the lack of resources and accessibility to resources. But sometimes I think it's incredibly worthwhile to even just start with local nonprofits and organizations that um, offer things like support groups, like NAMI Contra Costa. That's where I work currently, but we offer plenty of different support groups, and some for transitional aged youth, aged 16 to 6, I think.
Oh, wow.
And even when I was even in my capacity as a facilitator for those groups, I found it really helpful to, get that opportunity to connect with people who were maybe experiencing some of the same daily life struggles, and and managing or coping with mental illness, ranging from, even, just some infrequent anxiety to some of the more debilitating things. So I think that's a good step always. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for your input on that.
I didn't
Um,
even know what NAMI did. I'm so glad that you said something because I keep seeing it on the list everywhere and I just don't know what it is.
mm,
So you're a good spokesperson there.
yes, yes. Yeah, there's a lot of nonprofits, amazing, that we should highlight for sure. And then we could transition into the wins for justice for Angelo Quinto community, for the state, debunking excited delirium, the establishment. We've covered a bit about the crisis response team, and then upcoming
Aren't
events.
they also partially responsible for changing the language that they're allowed to use?
Absolutely.
Because I've
Mhm,
seen some national reports on that where they've mentioned the Quinto family.
mhm.
Is the Can you speak on that, Bella?
Oh, sure. I wasn't sure if we were ready for that. But, yeah, this past year, 2023, we were supporting primarily the bill that Assemblymember Mike Gibson, introduced, and that was to ban the use of the term excited delirium by use from government officials, and that's just very commonly used as an excuse for officer misconduct and police violence. It's a very victim blaming, unscientific diagnosis. And I think initially what we had done with that is we worked with this organization called PHR, Physicians for Human Rights, and tried to contribute any way we could to their webinar and report on excited delirium, which was really, really thorough. So I definitely want to shout that out. And if people are interested in that, you can definitely find that if you just look up PHR excited delirium. But yeah, it was really successful, precedent setting. And currently it looks like not Chicago, sorry, Illinois, the state, Colorado, and Hawaii are making some important steps forward regarding that same concept, which is just banning the use of an unscientific cause of death diagnosis that is used almost exclusively in cases of excessive force or use of tasers by law enforcement. Yeah, I
I
don't know
wonder
what I'm
who was the
missing.
person that came up with that term.
I think it was Interpol, not Interpol. So initially, I think it was the company that created the tasers. What were they called?
Oh, so they were giving people excuses to use it, like as an advertising thing.
Kind of, yeah. More of like just a preemptive justification for any problems that might arise from use of tasers. But
Oh
it's
God.
persisted, and that was preceded by investigations way back, and PHR really covers this well in their webinar and report. But there was an investigation into the deaths of these young African American women, and it was it was clear that it was murder, or it was homicide, but it was blamed on excited delirium as well in those cases too. But my brain's a little foggy right now. I'm not remembering if it was.
You're
I don't
doing good
think
enough.
it was police.
Yeah, the fact that you can give us a resource to watch a video and the insight of what you know, you're not expected to be a dictionary. You're doing great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing good.
Yeah.
Good.
That
That makes me want to have a watch party. You guys want to watch it with me?
Oh, yeah, I'd be
Let's have a
down
watch party.
at the community center.
Yeah, let's do one.
Big screen. No, and it's raising awareness, y'all. Like, look up Angelo Quinto, look up the story of triumph
PHR?
and PHR. Yeah, that's how community makes things happen, through policy, because people push policy, and that's for justice for everyone. And then back to, someone asked about local veterans offices, that someone needed help. There are the two in Martinez. One's through the VA directly, one's through the county. Locally, there's a few veterans groups. There's the Veterans of Foreign Wars. I'm a member of that. There's the Delta Veterans Group. I'm a little, they do great work, but, with Angelo Quinto going to the Navy, not completing his course, I still consider him a veteran because he tried. So I'm just, when they do the Veterans Day parade, I marched with Angelo Quinto's pictures at the very end, and I asked people, "Do you know who this is? And it just broke my heart that, like, our own veteran community, being as it is, like, I just think the blue line was too thick, and
Yeah, 100%.
I'm always going to be salty about that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bella. Did any local veteran groups ever reach out to you or your family?
I don't remember at the moment. I don't
It's okay.
recall that ever happening.
Yeah, I had a breakdown that day because I was like just so surprised. I asked them, "Can y'all just say his name?" Someone had a microphone, and I said, "Say his name," and the MC, she just said, "Oh, I already said it." So, anyways, we're gonna build this on positivity, and I'm not going to be salty.
I'll be
Just
salty for you.
okay. Thank you.
I can add, just for a little essence of my brother, I called him Angelo, but he was really heartbroken when he couldn't, when he got honorably discharged, but he kept moving forward with the idea that it wasn't a closed chapter, and he had even, he'd received some messages regarding that soon before he died too, and I know that if he were alive today, he would be very proud to keep moving forward.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
it gave him a lot of purpose.
Hell yeah. Hell yes. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Back to, we were going down a list of local resources and organizations. NAMI, amazing. Monument Impact, they have a group. It's called Mentes Positivas, and I hope to join eventually, maybe learn a little more. But with training with former like veteran military stuff, they taught us a lot about resiliency and all kinds of resiliency courses of bouncing back and not going down a path, because the ultimate ending of mental health loss breakdown is could be suicide. It could be tragic. It could have a tragic ending for the person experiencing the trauma and the mental health situation, or the people around them. So we need to just keep looking out to the resources. Church groups. I know, Carlos Tacos, you are familiar with a few. You yourself do some kind of ministry. Any other church groups? Local ones?
As far as what?
I know of one in Concord. First
Okay.
Presbyterian Church does a lot.
Okay. For
Yeah, and
mental
they're
health.
hmm?
For mental
I didn't
health.
hear you. Yeah, for mental health.
Mm.
That one of the ministers there was actually the one that got my brother off the streets. And my brother, like I said, has is bipolar B, so he's
Mm.
really erratic. And they put him through lots of different programs, and he's got a family at the church, and he's got a place to live, and um, he's
Purpose.
really doing a lot better than I ever expected.
Mm. Yeah. We all have a purpose in life. I see we have someone joined us.
Hello, how
And
y'all doing?
How you
hi.
doing? How you doing?
And
Hi.
then they do have with Contra Costa County the Office for Consumer Empowerment, and that's a organization that's in the mental health administration, and they, are there for consumers in different aspects. But as far as my culture and the Baptist and Christian, some of the churches that I've attended, they basically say, God, if you believe in God, he'll heal you, and they're not really versed on mental health, mentally ill, because it's about spirituality and religion. So in
Mm.
my family in Mississippi, it was a place called Whitfield. That's where you would go for mental health, the mental hospital, and you wouldn't never come out. So we
Oh
had
wow!
a back room in my grandmother's house, and my cousins, when they all from Chicago, wherever they had mental illness, my great aunties, they would put them in the back. They have a back room, and we would take care of them as if they were ill, because we knew if they went into the mental hospital Whitfield, they wouldn't get out. So for
Mm.
my mental health, and I've been going through this for years. A lot of people thought I was crazy. Just, everything was talking about whatever was going on with my son, how it affected me. And even after he died, some church people telling me I need to move on because my son is dead and all of this, and I need to let him rest. But it was no rest because of the injustices that had happened to him. So when
Mm.
I met Thomas, and he started reading scriptures to me, about healing and how God healed, and he read some information to me about a mother grieving, and about how God, don't want me to grieve like that, and just the anger and everything. And even
Mm.
with him helping me, with Reiki, the pain and stuff, and teaching me how to calm down and meditate. I mean, that helped
Mhm.
me going to Healing Portals, and anti-police terror project in Oakland. They have a healing portal this Sunday, and they have healers there, massage therapists, art therapy, plants, and just different things that I was more in tuned in versus the doctors and the medications, because I didn't need medication to stop my brain from thinking of what really happened and what was going on. I needed other outlets, holistic outlets that helped me through my grief. You know what I'm saying? And how to maintain and still move on, you know, and
Mm.
then just like even with the text messages about my life, it just felt like my son died over again. So what happened then, the people started coming around, just like they do when people die. They come around, they want to drink, they bring in bottles and all of this stuff. So I haven't really had a drink since last year in May. So
Mm.
that was one of my battles to have to conquer, because mental illness and substance abuse, whether it's alcohol, whatever, it's dual diagnosis. So now I'm dually ill. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So it
Mhm.
took me to have to stop going a lot of places and dealing with some people, because that's what it was all about. Yeah, at
right,
first I thought the drinking was numbing my pain, but it
Mhm.
wasn't, because I couldn't function the next morning. You know what I'm saying? It made me more
right. You
angry,
exchange
more,
one pain for another pain.
yeah. But
Mm.
that's what the peers and stuff. When people die, everybody come, they bring in drinking, they bring in bottles and that was not the fix that I needed. You know
Mm-mm.
what I'm saying? I needed my chakras lined up. I needed to know that, yes, I'm grieving. I'll never get over this. I'll never get over my son. I'll never get over what happened to him. But I had to come to forgiving the people that did it, and
Mhm.
also be able to fight for justice for my child
Right,
suffering with the grieving and the mental illness. So now I
Right.
don't really have too many people coming around me now because I don't have the bottles. I'm not in the bottle no more. That was killing me.
Well, I'd love to sit down and talk to you about some of the holistic things that you've done to get through some of the things you've gone through. Because mine may not be as traumatic, but I have lost 2 brothers in the last 5 years, and a close cousin, and I've been really depressed, and I've been looking for other things to do, and I'd love to hear some alternate ways, because right now I'm beating my head up against a wall.
Well, I'm here for you, Mary. I'm here for you. And
Yeah.
like when I was 8 years old, I had to witness my father die in front of me in my mother's arms. So when I just had started working on myself and I admitted it to a few people and Thomas, I'm still an 8-year-old girl trying to heal. Left home early, got married, was in an abusive relationship. That's when I started going to therapy. When I left my first relationship, and then my people called me crazy then. You know what I'm saying? When I reached out to get help, therapy, and that group helped me. It was a group from Colorado, came down to Kaiser, and they helped me because then I was able to identify, not keep the secrets and the pain in me no more. Didn't want to tell my family and my friends and my what this man had did to me. I had an outlet to do that. So now I deal with a lot of mothers and families who have lost their children. For 30-something years, I've been fighting this fight against violence in the community. My daughter's father got murdered. Got with another guy, my son's father got murdered. So I've been on this plight to always help people. But the most pain that I had to endure was almost 10 years of my son being a victim to these polices here, crying out to everybody I could tell a story to, I would tell it. And then Lord and behold, here come the text messages. My son coming in my room, Mom, I'm bleeding. I got to get to the hospital. My son was used to bleed out the anus for real. So that pain, me carrying his pain. So I had to let all of that go. I had to let that pain go, and I had to listen to somebody who had the wisdom that I didn't have.
Right.
My family didn't give it to me. Is
that a cultural thing?
It's a cultural thing. It's our cultural thing. Yes, it is.
Stigmatized.
I was violated by a preacher in a church. He didn't sexually assaulted me, but he grabbed me and kissed me. That was inappropriate. And I loved his wife. Me and my kids had joined this church. So I don't trust church people. When I met Thomas, he says he's a minister. I said, I don't trust I don't trust minister. I didn't trust that. But when he opened up that book, he opened up other books. He opened up different teachings that connected to me, my body, my mind, my spirit, my soul, took away my stress. And I was like, oh, it's other ways. I could talk about it all day, but it wasn't
really
helping me.
interested in other ways.
Well, I know. Can I speak real quick? I know I'm trying to start a wellness center here in Antioch. I've been into the ministry, into the word, and practicing healing, holistic healing. I got an old soul, and I understand people. I'm like a sociologist. I study people, and I study myself. But I do want to open up like a center because it's the right knowledge. It's like we've been handed in school the wrong information, or you hear the preacher telling you to reach out to Jesus when Jesus was telling you that you have the power yourself to heal.
Right.
So it's like, I know a lot of things. I read over 500 books.
Well, and you know what? I think that's a huge thing because Carlos and I have these conversations too about what we believe, what we think is in the Bible, and then what we read in the Bible are totally different sometimes. And I'm with you. I'm following you 100% on that one, Thomas. Hey, can I just be rude for 1 second and find out who Sean is?
Oh, yeah.
That's my friend. That's one of my friends. I invited him.
You're in the hospital?
Am I going home? Yep. Oh, I'm finna go home.
Hey,
Yeah.
Good news.
Hi, Sean.
This one of my brothers. We share like a similar story. Like I said, I've been studying not just the Bible and other things, but I've been studying in America and like some of the effects that happen on our communities. Like me and him around the same age. I'm 43. He's like 42. Now he's from Chicago. I'm from Indiana. But if you go around, I can go around the whole United States into any inner city and ask a person around my age about their life, their experiences will be similar to mine. Like the crack epidemic, we all got slaughtered doing that.
The
So it's like
war on black and brown neighborhoods. Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
So our experience is the same all across the United States. And I was studying that, like, well, like Jesus, he's like, how you gonna be able to heal them? So you have to study it to go back to heal it. You know what I mean? Because now I see the pain. I know what we went through. Information is powerful. A lot of people is like walking on autopilot. You know, just go to the refrigerator, but they're not using their consciousness. They don't understand what really happened. Yeah.
The history isn't taught. The history
It's
isn't
not taught.
That's something that
Right,
needs to
and
be
you see things through different lenses, and you're able to talk to people that way, and that's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaving out now. I'll be able to talk to y'all.
Right.
Pardon
He can
me.
bro, you can
Which
tell
way I
him
go, ladies?
oh, you walking. But he's in Kentucky. I let him tell this little story. I let him tell his story, but I heal him way in Kentucky. I got people I heal in Africa and all over the place.
Is this the man that you told me about in the park?
I
With his
believe so.
shoulder?
He'll tell. No. This something different. He got a whole different story,
You got
bro.
a lot of stories.
Oh yeah.
There's a few other folks on the things on the list that made me think of Thug Therapy. Mr. Fab holds thug therapy sessions in Oakland, and I believe he's around your age too, Thomas.
Okay.
He has an organization, his clothing line. It's called Dope Era because Dope Era was a dope era, literally, and it disenfranchised and broke many families intentionally. Incarcerated.
Yes.
The mass incarceration, our prison complex, like that. We have a lot
And all that did was like kind of reconstruct how, like Mary was saying, like how a person see the world. It start now you're looking at it from an ugly lens, and like the parents. So I'm in the 70s era and the 80s when all the drugs hit, and then the 90s. Most of the kids came out anchor babies, you know, being born in tubes and stuff like that. So they was crippling our minds and the way we express ourselves from a long time.
You gotta tell them about our history. You know, we were in group homes, foster homes together. We've been knowing each other for years. You didn't tell them?
Share
He wants you to tell us. He said that he's waiting to let you tell us.
I know. I've been knowing Thomas since we was 14.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, we've been through it, but he always been humble, and I think that's part of that's where he get his gift from, because he been humble with everything we've been through. Man, it's raining out here. I'm gonna melt. Man, it's gonna be chocolate everywhere in this parking lot.
Hey,
So Sean, Thomas was telling us he healed you.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna get deep with y'all.
Yes.
Let me get out this rain first. You know, chocolate can't melt.
It tastes good in hot chocolate. That's melted.
Yeah, I know it, but this is the good chocolate, the sweet caramel chocolate. You don't want it all on the ground.
All right.
All right.
Hold on, let me get in my car first. Don't nobody hit me in my head. I ain't got no money. I ain't got nothing but food stamps.
Come on.
And then once we hear his healing story, maybe we could go in a circle and talk about how we cope with.
Okay, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. My story. I was born in 1971 on the south side of Chicago. I lived in California actually in 74 all the way to 78. I had a pretty, I ain't gonna say a good childhood, you know, but things happen, you know what I'm saying? Let me say this here. Being abused as a child, however you were abused, it don't go away when you become an adult because you still have those memories. You still got those wounds that need to be healed. So it affected me. I suffer from depression. And Thomas, you know, whenever I get it's like he'll feel it. For us going back so far back as kids, when I ever had a problem or a situation, I can rely on him. He never denied me nothing. I mean, conversation, moral support. He was always there for me. And like I always tell people, sometimes it's outside of your family that you find family. If that makes sense, what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like with this brother, how can I put this here? We both share the same kind of past. I never got too deep with him on his past, but I was molested at 4 by my mother's husband and tortured all the way till I was about 8 years old.
Wow.
And like I always had like a self hate towards myself, like it was my fault all the things I went through. Even now, I just getting out the hospital now because I suffer from anxiety, and sometimes the anxiety raise my blood pressure, which can lead to a heart attack. You feel me?
I do.
So I have to deal with it. Being like right now, I'm going through something. My son, mama dying of cancer. She in her last days. My son, he 18, he autistic. He confused when it come to me and his mother and her family because his mother ran off with him when he was 9 years old from me, and I ain't see him till like 9 years later. So I'm really going through a lot, but I try to stay strong regardless of what I go through. I was listening to some of y'all say that y'all been through abuse and everything. You know, it's not how you fall. When I used to box, the coach used to tell me it ain't how you fall, it's how you get up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a firm believer. Sometimes your mental state have to override your emotional state. Do that kind of make sense what I'm trying to say to y'all?
Yep.
Sometimes you have to outthink out the box. We know why we got hurt. It wasn't our fault, but it's always a third reason. The people who allowed us to get hurt, why did they allow us to get hurt? That's what I ask myself. I don't too
Right.
much point the finger at me no more. I ask, why did my mom let me get hurt?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What was her reason for allowing a grown man to hurt a defenseless child? I ask myself that, and it's not my fault. And when I tell myself that, it makes me feel good to know where I'm at now. I'm 52 years old. There was a time me and Thomas was told we wouldn't live to see 14. That makes sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we here. Like, I'm not homeless. I got a roof over my head. I own my own vehicle. So it's like I'm still being blessed regardless of how I feel when it comes to turning back the clock. Sometimes we gotta
Yep.
destroy that clock and move
Mhm.
forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you keep putting on the same clothes, you're gonna look mighty funny with tights on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Right.
that's how I look at it. It's like a closet of the past. I don't want to keep wearing the same clothes I wore 20 years ago. I doubt if it even fit as big as I am. But
Mhm.
that's how I think. I'm not gonna. I know Thomas is a minister, and he know how I feel about that. I don't I don't challenge God because like I got shot 10 times. I was partially paralyzed, so I know that God got me here for a reason. See, the only thing I ask God for is family. Family is everything. If you got someone that love you unconditional, let's just say more than you would love yourself, that's who you want to be with. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And see, like right now,
Yeah.
I'm in an empty house. Ain't nobody in there but me. So them demons, if y'all believe in God, them demons,
Mhm.
they attack me. Do that make sense?
Yep.
Oh
It's
yeah.
hard.
That inner
It's
voice, those inner demons.
uh what she say?
I said the inner voices, the voices in your head, those demons come after you.
Yeah, right. They in my head, right. But they go to your head and they make you do things that you shouldn't be doing, or they make you feel bad. They make you feel depressed. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I do.
Yep,
I
Like
do.
100%.
like the other night, I dreamed when I was 4 years old. Okay, who would know what happened to me at 4 years old but the devil? You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I was with a friend yesterday, and she put her 2 year old in a tub. And I said, you might want to watch that baby in that tub. And she was like, oh, he can't turn the knobs. And I flashed back when I was a kid and I was thrown in a tub of scalding hot water. You know what I'm saying? For peeing in the bed.
Oh
It's
yeah.
things like that that
Mhm.
is hard for me to let go. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I
Takes some
lost
healing.
my Yeah, I lost my 2 year old daughter. Thomas, remember? I lost my 2 year old daughter in January 2014 in a house fire.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
So after that,
Mhm.
I had a nervous breakdown. I stopped cutting my hair. I stopped loving me. And he was in Vegas at the time. He was trying to tell me, stay strong, but it's hard for you to tell me to stay strong when I lost my daughter.
Mhm.
Do y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I
Mhm.
do.
we all cope with loss different. But see, like, ain't nothing like daddy's little girl. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like that affected me to this day. When I see little kids, especially little girls, I think about my little girl
Mhm.
because I wasn't there. Even though she was supposed to stay with me that night, her sister, and her brother,
Mhm.
they were supposed to stay with me. But my mom, I was staying with my mom because I was shot up real bad. Remember, I told you I got shot and I was partially paralyzed. So they
Mhm.
were supposed to stay with me that night. And I asked my mom, it was enough room. I said, Ma, can my daughter and them come stay the weekend? No, ain't no room. And they died that night. And that's something it haunts me every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And sometimes
Yeah, I bet.
I hear my daughter voice, even in the house I'm in now. I'm in Lake Charles, Louisiana. They died in New Albany, Indiana.
Mhm.
Mm.
I could be that, but that be the devil though.
Mhm.
See, that's what like. If you in the bed and you hear voices, kid voices, that's the devil playing with your head, like the movie It. You know what I'm saying?
I've
Oh.
gone to war with demons in my dreams, growing up years ago.
You
So
have
I
you.
know I would go to battle with them, like in my dreams, and I would wake up praying. I would be in the dream with the evil, all of it, but the prayer would always get me through. So I'm teaching my son about that because yeah, they are. If you believe in God, I mean, there's good and evil, but we can't
See, you
let.
got faith. See what I'm saying? But when you okay, how can I put this here? I
Mm,
fought myself.
mm,
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
mm,
I fought myself for watching my look. Believe it or not, even though my mom denied me to let my daughter and her mama and her sister and brother spend the weekend with me and my son from Louisiana, that night I went to a motorcycle party and
mhm.
I watched my daughter burn in the house right down the street. Do you know how that feel?
Traumatic. That's
Oh.
hurtful. That's
You you know what I'm saying? Like when the ambulance, well, fire trucks went past the motorcycle club, we wondering it's a house on fire on the corner. My daughter didn't live at that house. Now you see how I feel the way I feel. My daughter stayed in the projects. The mama went to go see her friend at that house and left them kids in that house while they go get drugs.
mm,
Oh, that's hurtful. That is
And I
so
had to
hurtful.
stand there and watch these people put out a fire. When I found out an hour or two later, your daughter in that house.
Mm.
So it's hard to have prayer when you fought yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Patty, and Bella and Mary and Carlos, how how do you bring this back, to like the panel in order that we was, trying to find resources, and even resources that probably he can hear about, and try to get him some help and stuff. Patty?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Do we have
need
a, so we have a website. We have a website that we started, and there's resources. We don't have one specific to mental health, but we probably should.
We should probably have we should probably see if we can find some resources for
That's that one right
post-traumatic stress
there.
disorder.
The
Specifically.
CarlosTacoShow.com.
Because that
Yeah,
seems
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
the most
that'll be a
prevalent
blessing, y'all.
among us.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
this
going through it.
website, of course.
And I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. I ain't never told Thomas this, but he already know. You know I'm suicidal.
Oh.
Is that crazy though?
Don't y'all
To
have
be
an
talking
800
so-
number, Bella?
No,
Bella
I
and
ain't
Show
Patty?
talking about
the
killing
number,
myself now.
Carlos.
Don't be throwing me no numbers like I'm finna kill myself.
You gotta
I
call
just
the
left the
number.
Call
hospital.
us.
Don't try to put me back in the hospital
We need
now.
you on this earth. It's not. We need you. Our communities
No,
need
I'm just telling you.
you.
I don't know if y'all know it or
He's
not.
explaining the thoughts that go through his head. I
Yeah.
The
know.
demons tell
I
me
know.
to kill myself.
I know.
The demon will say, "You're not worth being here. Run off the road. Run off the bridge.
You ain't thinking.
Jump off it is.
I've
Choke
heard those
yourself."
demons
I
before.
know.
I've
I know
heard
what he's
them.
talking about.
That's
Yeah.
a really important thing to articulate too. I know that a lot of the time when it comes to suicidal ideation and feelings, a lot of people think of it as either a taboo topic or something that they're afraid to put into somebody's head, that idea. But the fact is that the idea is already there. So that is really important to share that. So thank you. And I'm
Then Thomas will tell you I cut my wrist a couple times. But see, like I realized, why am I going through so much pain? Why am I alone? I ask myself that. Why am I alone?
Well,
Ain't
you're not
nobody in the
alone.
bed. Huh?
We're not alone tonight. And thank you for
No.
Yeah, y'all in
And
California and all over the world. I'm in
He's
this
not hanging
van
with
by
myself.
myself.
He's in Louisiana.
Hey,
Hey,
yo, we have
Nah.
another guest in
we
the
could
space.
exchange numbers. We could just be one phone call away.
Yeah.
yeah.
We got
We got a
Nicole.
private chat on this. I'll give you
Mm.
my number. I've been suffering from anxiety 29 years. So I know what you're
Carlos
going
has got
through.
some stories too.
Yeah.
Yo,
And people at work don't understand. You go to work, they expect you to be normal. But what am I supposed to do if I work at Domino's? And the little guy bring his daughter in there for a meal or whatever. I'm in there looking at how he playing with his daughter. I'll never get that chance. I never see my daughter in prom. I never be able to protect her from a boyfriend. All that plays in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like I just feel I was robbed. Now I've raised other people's kids, but it's nothing like raising yours.
No.
You know what I mean? I do kid parties too. Like that's one of my ways. I'm just telling y'all of me getting away. I do kid parties like cotton candy, popcorn, bouncy houses, and people don't understand why I do it. I do it because it's like giving back to my daughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I know
you're
exactly what
having
you mean.
experiences that you would have had with her normally.
Yeah.
Wow,
I guess
Sean,
things gonna work out.
it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
They will.
Yeah.
I know exactly
I'm
what
really spiritual, and I mean, we all have a time to leave on this earth, and it's not up to us, and it's not our fault. But at the same time, for all you know, she's been an angel guiding you throughout your
Yes.
journey.
So I had a miscarriage, and
Oh man.
my sister told me it was God's will.
Oh.
And I've never been stabbed as hard in my heart as when somebody told me that was his will. So don't believe that. You didn't do anything to deserve it. She didn't do anything to deserve it. It was a matter of circumstance, and all we can do is the best we can. And Sean, if you need a friend with a phone number, you can call me too.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
But I might cry more than you.
Oh I cry so much. I'm like the Tin Man. Trust me.
All right. Well, we can cry together.
All right. We're a little past our 9-hour closing, but we can definitely still keep talking a bit. I want to thank all of you for being here. And Nicole Gardner, she's on the line as well.
She wanted to say something real quick.
To give her a welcome. Nicole Gardner.
Hey, Nicole.
Oh, how you doing?
Hey,
nice to meet you, Nicole.
Hi, Sean. Oh my gosh. This was an amazing, thank you, Patty and Carlos, for this tonight. I see a bunch of strong advocates here, and I commend all of y'all, seriously, because it takes a lot to put your stories out there. It really does. It really does. And I appreciate every last one of y'all for being vulnerable and for opening up, and for, we know y'all as like strong Patty, Carlos, Kathy, Bella. I know y'all as some strong Mary, strong advocates. You don't really tend to get very like vulnerable with what's going on in your lives. So I really appreciate that. And especially you, Sean, too, as well, because like I said in the chat, I don't really hear a lot of Black men coming forward to say, this is what I've been through. This is what I'm going through. And I appreciate that so much. And I believe we really need to instill that within our young Black and brown boys and girls. And having a Black man such as yourself, come forward and say, this is what I've experienced and this is what I'm going through. And there's nothing wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with expressing that. I love that. I love that. I have 2 Black boys, 13 and 20. And I just love that. I really do.
Can I say something to you before you get through, Nicole? I appreciate you, but I'm gonna tell you this here. I understand when you say it's Black and brown to talk to the kids, but I talk to all kids because being a foster child, trust what I'm telling you. It's no color thing when it comes to abuse. It's no color thing when it comes to fear. It's no color thing when it comes to depression. It's all about those who they say how can I put it? God looks out for babies and fools. So I had to ask myself sometime, what do that mean? God looks out for babies and fools? Because that's all you see now is the babies being abused. Whether it's mentally, physically, I mean, even the video games, the TV, things on TV is abusing your child. But we don't look at that as abuse.
Absolutely. But Brother Sean, the reason why I bought that up is because I've had, experiences within our community of Black and brown folk. I'm Black, okay, and
I am too.
I've dealt with PTSD and all that, and that's what I say, it's a cultural thing too, because a lot of Black and brown folks, they don't believe. Like, I had people in my family that loved me the hell out of me and loved me and told me, like, you are stronger than this. They could not accept the fact that I was saying I needed help and I had some mental illness, like I was suffering from PTSD. They did not understand that. So although I know across the board, any race, anybody could be suffering from it, to
Yeah.
me, from my experiences, it was harder dealing with. I could deal with my white friends or my Caucasian friends or whoever that would be like, oh, Nicole, you're going through this or whatever, maybe therapy, whatever. But then when I go to my Black friends or Black family members, it was like it was kind of dismissed, like you are way too strong to be having to go to therapy. So that was the only reason I brought that up. But I know we're about to end. My reasoning for coming on here is to say I myself, and I'm going to make this very short, I myself I'm 41 now, but at the age of 24, I lost my younger sister. She literally was murdered in front of me, blood on my hands, in Pittsburgh, murdered in front of me. I dealt with PTSD for over 10 years, and I went through, the anxiety, the depression. I still have some. I'm still dealing with that. And as my younger, that being my younger sister, my best friend at the time, and literally she was shot in front of me, and I always blame myself, and even to this day I still do. And so when I heard about the Quinto story and heard about Bella and heard her speak, I literally was so inspired by her in being so young, and I don't know what you go through, Bella, on a day-to-day, but I was just praying for you. I've talked to your mom and your dad a few times, and they're like so sweet and kind, and I brought you up to them. I don't know if they told you, but I was like, oh my God, your daughter is so inspiring to me, because it literally took me 10 years just to become the advocate that I am, to have a voice and to speak up for other people. And you literally went out there. You guys, you and your family have passed laws, and you have just fought and been and spoken so eloquently to the community and have uplifted us. And I just want to give you your flowers tonight, because I myself, as a 41-year-old woman, am truly inspired by you and what you've been through and how you've overcome, or at least has spoken, to the community, and let them know what your story was. And this was your brother, and this is what he went through. This is what I witnessed. And I am just so inspired. And I had to come on tonight. I wasn't even going to come on, but just to give you your flowers and to say, I love you. Stay strong. And I'm going to continue to pray for you and your family.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. I don't know how to give my number out. How do you do that? Just say it and y'all write it down?
No, we got a private chat on here that we're all. You should have it on yours too. Can you guys
Okay,
tell
I
them where
see
it's
it.
at?
I just
Yeah.
put my number on. Oh, okay, I see y'all got to know. I just put my number on here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Listen, I'll go home.
Sean, not in the comments though. You got to go to the private chat. Is that
Oh,
what you're telling us, Carlos?
It's a private chat. Yeah, it's
Okay.
that bottom one right there.
Or you'll have people that reaching out to you from all over.
oh, it's all right. I don't mind. I mean, like I said, I live alone, and I just try to make every day a different day. You know what I mean? I'm blessed. Like I say, some people ain't blessed, or they don't feel they blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be.
Yeah.
Thank you for blessing us with your presence and sharing, like Nicole said, just such vulnerable experiences. And I appreciate all of you. This was a 1 hour show. We could go on, and my crystals are part of my healing.
Right. Let me get my stones. Let me get mine.
Get your stones out. But it's the community that we're going
This
to
lady bought me this basket for my birthday with these stones in them.
Got
They
you
got
locked in,
sayings
bro.
on them.
Thank you, bro.
Courage.
I would
And you know
love to
what?
come back.
Bella, Mary, and Patty, we women cannot even imagine what the boys and the men went through.
No.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying?
They
listen to
don't
his
talk
story. And
about
I
it.
got four, I had four sons.
That is
And
so
one of my sons told me one of my friends when he was little, had him touch her and stuff, whatever. And it was like, oh my God, we don't think about that stuff, what the men go through,
Right.
what they're carrying inside them.
that is so true.
And to hear his story like that, it's like, wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm
Andy?
52, man. I ain't got nothing to hide. I'm a man.
Yeah. And the more you talk about it, the more it will help you heal. That's what I talk to strangers, everybody I can talk to, I talk. Because I'm releasing it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah, you never
releasing
know
that
what
pain back
somebody
into
went
the
through.
universe.
You need to
You know,
do
you
that.
never know what somebody been through.
Never.
And on our list of things that we can
Yeah.
do, that's the first one, letting it out. I'm going to read through. We did a consolidated list of things that we can do to overcome mental illness, mental health situations. Letting it out, venting to our people, not bottling it in. Don't hold it in because it can explode. Exercising, meditating,
Exercising. Yep.
being present of our own existence and our purpose in this universe. Checking in on each other. We know we're going to check in on Mr. Sean, checking in
Yeah,
on
I appreciate you.
journaling, having life coaches. Here we have Pastor Tom or Minister Thomas. He's a life coach. Getting affirmations, self-help books, joining clubs, joining support groups. Tonight, our support group is the Carlos Taco Show, and we will always be a support group for our community and to empower each other.
I appreciate y'all.
Thank you. We appreciate you. Rad moms, Mary, you noted, parents of children with reactive attachment disorder, moms of dragons for the parents of trans children, Facebook groups that are available, anxiety focus groups, nationwide groups, Moms Demand Action Now, MAD, MEDD, nonprofit groups like Reach, Stand Against Domestic Violence. They have helped me out time and time again. Seneca for support and additional resources, networking, self-care. Sean, what city and state are you in?
I'm in Louisiana, Lake Charles, Louisiana. It's
Okay.
by Texas.
Okay.
Is that where the army base is?
I don't know. I'm by the airport myself. I live by the airport, but they do have the military base not that far from me.
I've
Yeah, my
trained
son
out.
is there.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it is. It is an army base. You're right. It is one in
Yeah.
Louisiana. It sure is. But no, out here is how can I put it? It's like it ain't that far from Texas. I'm like 2 hours from Beaumont, Texas, going
Yeah.
into Houston. Yeah,
That's where my son's girlfriend lives, in Beaumont, Texas.
yeah. But I'm
Ironically, that's
supposed
where
to
my
be
husband lived.
I'm supposed to be moving to California. I told
All
Minister
right.
Thomas I will be moving that way once my son come back to me. I ain't want to leave without him.
Mhm.
And
It's
with
all like that. Huh?
thank you. And with that, maybe Minister Thomas, if he's available, if you want to bless us with any enlightening, healing, uplifting words, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Is he there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you. Hold on, let me unmute him. There you go.
Okay, how y'all doing? Yeah, it's a lot of pain out here in the world, but we can heal. I believe for me personally, a lot of a long time meditation music, like all the prophets, I don't care what religion, they all went within themselves, meditated, because these thoughts is going to keep running. They say the mind is like it's the monkey mind jumping from thought to thought, and to keep us in those, we got to break all those old emotional feelings. We can not forget what happened to us, but we can let go of the feeling of it before we can move on and heal.
That's beautiful. We're gonna heal together, one community at a time, because we have a lot of healing to do.
Take a village to raise a child, and we all still children of God. So we all have to take care of each other.
Yeah. Amen. Thank you all. Carlos, you want to
Closing
close us out?
thoughts. Wow.
Closing thoughts.
I just hope and pray that, you know, somebody out there heard this, including me, because, you know, yeah, I've been suffering for 29 years and all that. And like you said it with the exercise. And I know my brother B has been on me about you need to walk more. And it does really, yeah, it does help. You know, you get out there, you walk in. We're probably going to start a walk group out here in Antioch, you know. So I know Frank's been talking to me about that, you know. So I'm like, hey, anybody else?
Just start up your group.
Look,
I know, right? That I
Bella
did
and I
start a
have been
group.
walking. Mary and I, we walked one time. We just need to keep walking.
We walked more than
Yeah.
one time.
We
We
do. I
ran.
need to walk more. I need 10,000 steps, right? 10,000 steps.
Look, Patty, high feet healing.
High feet healing.
That's right. That's right.
Love it.
So anyway, the music's starting. So
Thank you all.
we
Thank
really
you,
want to thank
Catherine.
everybody out there for listening and tuning in. Show some love, like and subscribe to the channel, the YouTube channel, the Carlos Taco Show. It really does help us out too, you know. Check us out at the carlostacoshow.com website. We have the NAMI website right here. So we got resources out there.
Let us know if you're a resource and you want to be on the show and talk about what you offer. We want you.
Yeah, you're not alone. Reach out to one of us. You know, hey, you know, on Facebook or Instagram, same name, Carlos Tacos, or Miss Patty. So yeah, come out, reach out to us. And until next week, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we'll be back, Lord willing. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and end by removing.
Hey, don't forget to share, y'all.
And share. Yes.
Share, like and share.
I'm removing everybody because I really want to end the show with this information here. So here we go. It's just me and Nicole. Hold on. There we go. Move that. We got the National Mental Health Hotline, 988. Put that in your phone. We also got the Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. And again, thank you for tuning in. Share. That's right. Show some love, and we'll see you next week. God bless you.